Ren is about so much more than just coffee. I know a lot of folks have walked away from the Academy with more than just knowing how to pour beautiful drinks. Barista training and resident roasting is sort of the mechanism for which we move through the program, but truly Sweet Ren is about building community.
Share, disrupt, learn. What does that mean to you? When I think about this disruption, a lot of it's like personal. And so that's a big part of what we're trying to do, obviously disrupt these patterns that don't always see culture. I mean, coffee is really culture and a sense of belonging that I think we've been able to create with these cohorts, and they're sharing their cultural truths, and that's really cool to see. I think it's really the heart of what Sweet Renaissance was built for.
For us, I think it was really trying to set out to disrupt patterns we had seen in coffee, trying to figure out what was still missing in specialty coffee and why. And I think we both learned and know, like, there are true barriers of entry in it, whether it's all this equipment that's behind us, the know-how, the business plans, the connections in coffee, the barista training and all of that. And that if we kind of just set back, waiting for this to all magically shift, it had been years and years and decades of it not shifting. Initially, our focus was on these barista training cohorts to help, it's a lot of education and training that's needed to be a barista, and just the time and resources of building that skill set. And I think in starting that, there's a lot of the focus, but then to quickly realize like the belonging side and like the community side of all of this, connecting with each other and just building incredible relationships.
There's something to be said about having the cohort sizes a little bit smaller, because there's that relationship building component that sort of comes along. I know a lot of folks who've come to Sweet Ren have been in job settings where they're expected to fit inside a box and dress a certain way or perform a certain way. And here they're able to show up as their most authentic selves.
As a program, there were so many people sending in their applications, and we just couldn't take as many as who wanted to come. But that allowed everybody to know what we were offering was needed and wanted, and that it had a real future. Jada, a participant from cohort 1, has been just an excellent example. She's giving back to each of those members in ways that she knows how.
So I'm not from Minnesota. My family is from Guyana, and coffee is not really a part of my culture. So I started hanging out at the Get Down over in North Minneapolis when it opened in 2021, and that was the first exposure I had to Black culture being represented in coffee, which I didn't even think was possible. And then I was a part of cohort 1, which ran from January 24 through about March of 2024. And I've been involved ever since. It was really like a vulnerable and intimate experience. It had been such a long time since I allowed myself to be taught by someone who has a lot of knowledge and experience and a skill. And so it required me to be vulnerable as well as them. When I'm here in classes, observing other cohorts, doing what I do for the social media side, there's just so much collaboration. Like, we are learning and growing with and from each other, which I think is pretty beautiful.
I think also of Yadira, that was a member of cohort 1. And, we were really focused on these barista training cohorts out of the gate. And she came in and flipped it all upside down because she was hungry and just, wanting to really set up her own roasting company. And I think that really just opened our eyes beyond the barista side, and is memorable in that way to see like all the different ways we can really help with Sweet Ren.
Being a part of Sweet Ren has given me a lot of resources that otherwise I wouldn't have known that they existed. Something that I was projecting on doing like within 10 years, I was able to do it within a year of finishing the program. I wasn't in a really good place when I came to Sweet Ren, and being a part of the program just opened my heart and my mind to know that there is a lot of good still. The community that Sweet Brand has built is beautiful. I'm just very grateful of being a part of it. It's just like gives me a lot of hope.
Now we have 2 residency roasters, 2 people who are pouring themselves into starting their own coffee roasting companies and trying to understand how to resource and surround them with help on everything from roasting and green coffee buying to marketing and bookkeeping. Also now we have the production roasting. So now not only do we create jobs on the barista side, but also in roasting and fulfillment.
Well, I think one of the things that's been very telling is that folks from prior cohorts are then coming to not only join in on the kickoffs or the graduations and things for the next cohort, but they're also coming back to offer up their expertise in drinks, their expertise in roasting or some of their business plans, and connecting that way, not just in their original cohort.
What we're creating has enormous sustainable impact. And Sweet Brand allowed us to stay connected. It's also a disruption in how we think about philanthropy. The dollars catalyze those learnings and really help benefit so many other people who are going to take that knowledge and be able to move at warp speed.
We are fully convinced like this is important and work that needs to be done, and we need help to get it done.
I think if we had access to more funding, like obviously that means access to more resources.
If it's not more people per cohort, it's being able to offer more cohorts.
Disruption must be funded.
We can't stop now, like that momentum will fall flat if we stop our efforts. So yeah, I think we're at a turning point for sure right now.